Welcome, welcome, welcome to another episode of Glorious Life on Wheels, where we are going to enjoy some delicious meals cooked in a van over a simple butane stove. And no matter what your level of cooking expertise is, you will be able to make this dish. Before we go on though, I just want to share with you just how grateful I am for each and every one of you. In this season of Thanksgiving, I know it's a lot different than we have done in the past, but for me, I am just so grateful for my YouTube family and my G.L.O.W family. You have truly become my tribe. And while I thought I was going to be sharing things with you and doing most of the giving in terms of information and cooking and knowledge, I've really got more out of this than I've given. And again, I want to thank you so much. So from my heart to yours, thank you. Why don't we go ahead and get started and have some delicious, well, you know what? I'll tell you when we get in the van. So come on, let's get going. Today, I have something special for you that's going to make your Thanksgiving meal so much more special. Instead of having to peel, chop, cut, boil sweet potatoes for candied yams, I have a hack for you that you'll be able to finish in just a few minutes and be sitting down enjoying your Thanksgiving dinner. So come on, let me show you what it is. This is a hack for candied yams. Now what you're going to need for this is you're going to need a can of cut sweet potatoes. I like the Glory brand, but you can use any brand. Now the amount that I'm going to do the sauce for it, you can double the amount of potatoes and still use the same amount of sauce. But adjust the sauce. If you want to do 3 or 4 cans of potatoes, then of course you'd have to add more sauce. But you'll add the chopped up cut sweet potatoes. You're going to need brown sugar. You're going to need Karo syrup, some cinnamon, nutmeg, vanilla, a little bit of salt, some butter, and just a tad bit of orange juice from a fresh orange. And I'll show you what we're going to do with that. So let's get going. I'm going to show you what this looks like. Now I emptied a can of cut sweet potatoes in this pot. You want to drain it really well and have as little, if no moisture, if possible, because the yams or the sweet potatoes, they actually produce their own water or juice. So get it as dry as possible so that your sauce will candy for you. All right, you've got that there. Now what you're going to do in a bowl or a container, you're going to get a cup of brown sugar, and you're going to pack this really good. Let me get this out of here really good. Okay. I'm making a bit of a mess here, but okay. All right, we've got a cup of brown sugar here that's packed in here pretty good. I've got a mess here, but okay. Then what you're going to do, you're going to get about a half a cup of Karo corn syrup. Now, you might even be able to use maple syrup. I haven't tried that, but about a half a cup of Karo. I like the Karo because it's really nice and thick. And this is what my mom used to use for a lot of her baking. Those of you who are OGs, old-timers, you know what I mean. So you're going to get this in here. Well, first let's get all of our dry ingredients in. I'm going to put about, I'd say about a couple teaspoons of cinnamon here. I'll do it this way so you can see. That's about a couple teaspoons of cinnamon in here. Then I'm going to do just a little sprinkle of ground nutmeg, because ground nutmeg is pretty strong. So I get about 3 or 4 shakes of ground nutmeg. Then what I want to do is I want to add just a little smattering of salt, not too much, a little more, maybe a quarter of a teaspoon, half a teaspoon, I don't know, to taste. Then I'm going to mix that up good. Then what I'm going to do to this, I'm going to add my Karo syrup. You see how nice and thick that is? Get all of that in there. Okay, we've got that all in there really good. Then what I'm going to do, before I mix that up, I'm going to add about a tablespoon of vanilla. This is a new vanilla that I've been using and I really like it. About a tablespoon of this vanilla. And then what I'm going to do is mix this up really well. And after I get this mixed up, I'll show you what I'm going to do with it. Now I'm going to show you the consistency of this. This is what's going to be my sauce for my candied yams. Now I'm going to pour this over. Let's get up close so they can see inside here. I'm going to pour this all over, so it's going all over my, on as many of the yams as possible. Now I've got this on a medium heat here. You can hear it there. And I'm going to I might turn it down a little bit to low, but we'll see. And there we go. Get all of this in here, all of this delicious, delicious. There we go. Got that in there. And I'm going to let this just cook for about, it's going to take, I'm going to turn it down just a little bit, medium to medium low. I don't want to burn it, but I'm going to let it just kind of candy, and as it starts to solidify, kind of come together, I'm going to start basting it so I get all of that delicious juice all over all of those yams. But we'll come back. Altogether, it takes, I would say, for one can about 15 minutes. So, but we'll come back and I'll show you as I start basting. Okay, now you can see where it's kind of melting down some and it's starting to bubble. Well, what I do is I go in, usually I'm not this high, I'm lower on the stove, but I go in and I start basting and get all this juice all over these sweet potatoes. Now, you don't have to use canned. You can use fresh, and sometimes I do use fresh if I'm feeling particularly energetic. But the canned yams will be a lot softer than your the cut up ones that you make from fresh, because they've been in a can, so they've been in that moisture for quite a while. So they are softer, but they're still delicious. So once it starts coming down like this to a juice, you're going to let it boil all the way down, but you're going to baste it every few minutes and continuing to baste it while it's cooking. And the end result is going to be absolutely delicious. And there's a couple of other things that I do at the very end that I'll show you. We'll come back and I'll show you when it's ready for that. Well, it is just about ready for the final touches. Let me show you. See how sticky this has gotten down to the consistency? And it will be even stickier when it cools off. Now, what I think I would do, I would, instead of a half cup of Karo, I think I would cut it down to about a third a cup of Karo, maybe even a quarter to a third cup of Karo. Now, what you're going to do now is you're going to go in, and let's show them, you're going to put a couple of pats of butter. Oops, you know what? Sorry. Back up, forgot. You're going to go in, this is my little touch that I like to add to it. You're going to take a half an orange and you're going to squeeze a little bit of orange juice around here. That, oh, that just adds such a flavor. Not a lot. Just squeeze. You're going to do it through a sifter so you don't get any seeds. Little bit there. And add that little bit of orange juice. Couple squeezes there. And then what you're going to do, I almost forgot the orange juice. You're going to go ahead, and that was what my cousin Diane used to do with hers and her candied yams. But she also would add a little bit of ginger ale at the bottom when she was cooking her fresh yams. Okay, but I didn't do that. You're going to put not too much butter, but just a little bit. Let it melt over here to give it a little bit of, oh, it adds a lot of richness to this. And after this butter is melted, then what I like to do is I like to go through and I like to take for presentation, and I like to put just a little bit of orange zest on top of it after the butter melts. So I may do that today, I may not, but I'm just letting you know what I like to do. So we're going to come back when this melts, we're going to plate it up, and the best part is yet to come. Now comes my favorite part, and I'm sure your favorite part too, tasting and seeing how these candied yams turned out. Oh, these are good. They are delicious. I love the little bit of tang that squeeze of orange adds to it, plus the richness of the butter. The real deal without all of that cutting and peeling and all that work. Perfect hack. I'll have to finish that in a few minutes. Well, thank you so much for coming along for another enjoyable journey into Foodland. But I would love for you to comment and tell me if you try this for Thanksgiving or any other time, how it turns out for you. But as I said, I think I would put a little bit less Karo, only maybe about a quarter to a third a cup. And then do make sure that you're basting it constantly. You don't have to stir it up, but do be basting it and let it cook all the way down. Let it medium to high, but watch it because you don't want to burn it. But whew, those are good. Well, we are off to other exciting adventures this Monday, adventures in taste and or travel. So come along and see just what we have in store this Monday on G.L.O.W Out and About. Plus, our Saturday lives now. How much fun is that going to be? By the time this airs, we will have probably already done our hat day. And I have a little fella I'm going to be introducing to you. But that's a surprise, so you'll have to tune into the lives to see. But thank you so much, G.L.O.W family. And may your journeys be filled with joy and blessings every single moment. Till next time, bye family.